Welcome back everybody. Unless you're new, then welcome to the channel. So these are the Shredlights, and just a quick disclaimer before we start, Shredlights did send me these lights for free. However, they're not paying me to make this video, so this video is not sponsored. This will be a real world application and honest review as much as I can. So in today's video, we're gonna really see what it looks like to use these lights in a real life application to illuminate the road, to use as like a headlight application for the Onewheel. So let's get right into it. Alright, so here we have the Shredlights Night Ops pack specifically for the Onewheel. The Night Ops packs comes with a total of 6 lights, 3 daylight or white lights for headlights, and 3 red taillights. You can see here on the box, the red ones have a red tint to it on the box picture here. The actual lights itself doesn't have a red tint on it, but a red band on the front to distinguish the two. What makes the Night Ops pack for the Onewheel unique is the mounting system that they developed to fit with the Onewheel. These are 3D printed mounts, and I'm not exactly sure what material was used to print these. It could be PLA plastic, but don't quote me on that. I did ask if these were available for printing in case some people do have 3D printers and want to, print their own in case the mounts happen to break or something like that, but it doesn't seem like that's the case yet. Although Shredlights did say that is something in the pipeline for the future that they are considering. There are 2 different types of mounts and 2 different types of adhesions that these come with. One is a curved mount, so you can attach the lights to like your fender of your Onewheel or your helmet. Other is a straight flat mount that can be attached to the rails. It also comes with 2 adhesion options. So one is a 3M heavy duty double-sided tape, which is more of like a permanent fix solution. The other is a Velcro type hook and loop mount, so the brackets here can be detached when you're not using it. I say Velcro, but I say it loosely because these are some heavy duty type stuff that is more rigid. It's not the traditional hook and loop that sounds like you're ripping through a phone book every time you're trying to fasten it. Bottom line, I would probably use the hook and loop mount here that they provide, as it's pretty strong and I'm not really worried about the lights falling off like a traditional Velcro. Okay, so now let's quickly go over the installations for these lights on your Onewheel. Quick disclaimer once again though, I did modify the mount a little bit to fit the Onewheel better. I'm not really recommending you do this, but if you want to mount the lights in the front all the way to the rail of the board, then this is kind of like the only way that I can think of doing it. I'll show you what I mean. As you can see, the mounts for these lights aren't that short, so it will cover up the power button and the charging port if you decide to mount it all the way at the front. If you put it somewhere in the rear, it's fine. I just didn't want to risk losing a bit of beam of light on the rails. I cut off a bit of the section of the mount, then sanded it down, reinforced it to make it fit to the front. Okay, so basically another way to finish this up, I have a bit of super glue here. And a cool thing that I learned while I was doing some manufacturing at some other startup companies is these super glue, they sell these like medium and thick ones too. And these thick ones do really well as far as adding structural stability to plastic parts. See, this is a thick one, not sponsored by the way. And then let me grab this thing here. This is an activator for super glues, and so I just get a little quick spray on there, and within like 3 seconds these things like solidify. And I probably should have taken that Velcro off before I did that, because I might have gotten some super glue on there. Hopefully not. Oh, I did it. I'm in luck. But yeah, so you see how it's like all hazy and white now, but basically it's all solidified. I can touch it, it's good to go. And that is actually a lot stronger than the actual plastic itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and that's finished up. There's a few gaps around here. I'm gonna finish that up and then attach it back to the Onewheel. So that's it for the rail installation of the lights. It's pretty straightforward and simple, well, minus the modification that I made, but it's just pure personal preference on my end to have the lights all the way to the front, so you don't really have to do that. The lights will still work with the lights installed being in the back of the rails. Now for the curved ones, you can attach it to the fender as well. I actually didn't do that. I opted to clip it to my backpack and have a higher vantage point of the lights, so I can, swivel it to where I need to see. And the extra red tail light, I'm attaching to that to my helmet for extra visibility to other cars out there on the streets. So the question still remains, how bright is this thing? Is it bright enough to illuminate the road? And is it durable enough to withstand everyday use of a Onewheel? So let's put this thing to the test, shall we? Alright, cool. So now I'm outside and it's dark out here. It is currently nighttime, and usually I would use for nighttime riding, because I do a lot of nighttime commutes, a LED panel like this one for video. And the problem with these are very, very bright, and that's the reason why I do use them. But the problem is also they spread out the light so much that it's not focused. So although I can see a lot from the side, farther away I can't really see much. And I think the really good thing about this setup here as far as the Shredlights go is the beams are very, very focused, so that they can stretch a very far distance. So let's find out, let's see how well this will perform. I'll do some comparison tests. That's at 20% too, so this will get a lot more brighter. I can crank it up all the way to 100%, and voila, that is bright. So there is the Onewheel right there. That's the light. They're currently all on, and I put it to blinking on the rears. I'm not sure if the rears are really necessary, but I guess safety redundancy. But yeah, we'll just see how that looks. Apologize in advance if all the footage turns out to be really, really noisy. Pentax does not do well under low lights. There's the Onewheel lights coming on right there. The road is where you can see the projection of the Shredlights. Currently my light that's clipped onto the backpack right now is not pointing to the road, so I'm going to go ahead and redirect that. There we go. Now it is directed to the road. It is significantly brighter to add another light. That's crazy. Yeah, I can clearly see the road. Everything is bright, very, very bright. So currently I have 3 lights that are shining the road. It's like, and also if I move my body, you see how like the beam is changing, and I can kind of like move that, shift that about as well. So let me try to shut this off and see what the difference is. Well, we have street lights now, so it's going to be a little bit brighter, but back into the pitch darkness is going to definitely make a difference. Wow, it's crazy. Adding one more light is a significant difference. So 3 lights is definitely the way to go. I would say right now it's about the adequate level to where I can see far enough to detect potholes and stuff like that. Anything not brighter than this, it's gonna be tricky. Like, you're gonna be squinting to try to look for it. I don't know if it's because of the top-down view, because I know on my chest this light is definitely pointing from top towards the ground compared to the lights that are attached to the Onewheel. It's spreading out and hitting the ground more, so it's not projecting as far as it could. All right, so let me go ahead and stop at one of these benches real quick and see if we can do some comparisons over here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to point the 3rd light right there. Okay, so you can see how bright it is, right? I'm gonna aim for about right there. I'm gonna go ahead and shut off the main 2 lights on here on the front of the Onewheel. Okay, so now they're shut off. So that is just the Onewheel. You can't even see anything on the camera. It's very dim. And then now I'm gonna shine 1 light, okay? So that's just 1 light on there. There are 2 lights on the Onewheel. Okay, so definitely it's more spread out. I think it's aiming high. So if I aim it lower, technically, I think that'll fix the issue a little bit. Is that a little bit brighter? I can't tell. I mean, it's not as bright as adding a 3rd one. Definitely like aiming farther down, the light does disperse a bit. So at that point where I can detect potholes from far away, it's a little bit hard to see. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and take an LED panel. Okay, so definitely I can see the sides more, but I can't see the details on the road farther down. So, okay, this might be a good spot to do some A/B testing as well.
far out there are a few like luminescent signs. If you see a speck of dot just being like blown out to be white, 2 of them, that is the road signs there that are picking up the light.
Okay, so that was a side-by-side comparison between the SL200 Shredlights and the Viltrox video LED lights. We're gonna go a little bit more scientific now and use a light meter to see how much these lights actually produce. You may have heard of the term lumens before, and that measures the amount of light coming from the source directly. It's at the very tip of the light where the light is coming from. But lumens is not really going to help us determine how much light is being shined on the road directly, so we're going to measure it in the unit of lux, which basically measures the amount of light that's being pointed at the surface, so in our case, the road. This will be an accurate representation of how much light is dispersed and lost and how much is actually shining the road to help us see it. Okay, so here's the light meter test with the lux. So this is one Shredlight, and all of these tests are done with 33 feet in distance. So first one is about 7.8 lux. 2 of them, we have about 14.8, so about double, which makes sense. And then 3 lights, once again, it has another multiplication effect to it, and it's about 22.5, 0.7-ish lux. Now the Viltrox LED panel, surprisingly, the number is a very measly 5.4 lux at a very far distance because the light is so spread out. And now we're going to take the 3 lights again and we're going to have them unfocused. So before I had it all in one spot, now it's going to be a little bit spread out, and that kind of kills the efficiency to half. It's only 10.4 lux, and this is about what you would see with the Onewheel. Now with the car headlights on the high beams, it's about 68 lux, and after doing some googling, it seems like the general recommendation for bicycle headlight brightness is about 28 lux at 10 meters, which is the 33 feet that we measured in. This is the recommendation for pitch black darkness as usage for a headlight. I also found some public documents on street lamp lighting, and it looks like it ranges from 10 to 20 lux for street lamps. Keep in mind those street lamps are only used as an aid for vehicle headlights, and they're not really meant as a sole source for road illumination, so 10 to 20 lux and upwards of 40 lux is what I'm really seeing for street lights. Okay, so now that we know how bright it is, let's go ahead and test how strong or durable this is. Let's do some durability tests. Alright, Shredlights, let's see what you got. That was weak. Alright, let's do a more serious test. Alright, test number 1, rollover on grass. I mean, easy. This should be easy, right? Yeah. No problems.
You said no problem.
No problem.
You said no problem.
Test number 2, rollover on concrete. Okay. So it took took a nick. Oh yeah, it looks like the silicone stuff that's holding the thing, they're breaking. Okay. Yeah, it looks like the silicone that's supposed to protect the water and stuff, it's breaking. I mean, it's still in there, so it's still protected from the water. It'll just be inconvenient is all. It's like the same scenario here. Oh, this one's okay though. All right, the lights are all still on. Can confirm.
A few moments later.
So here's the aftermath of some of these lights after the one rollover. And so all of them do work. So this works perfectly fine. Now this one has a problem. This button here no longer works. So only the side button on here works. So in order to shut it off, I just have to hold it. So it's still operational, but I no longer can use this button. And normally you can just hit both buttons to shut it off. Same with all the red ones, all of them are fine. It's just that one light that is causing the problem over there. So, you know, bottom line is, I probably wouldn't trust these lights to take a lot of damage and abuse. And so if you're planning to roll over your Onewheel a lot with these attached, I wouldn't advise it. Now, will it survive an accident rollover? Probably, yeah. I mean, they all still work, but I just wouldn't advise it. I don't think they're really designed to take that much abuse, especially in the way that it's currently mounted. So bottom line, with all this considered, should you buy the Shredlights? Well, I think it kind of depends. I think Shredlights has a really good thing going for them, and that's just the convenience factor. I mean, it just works, you know, you have it mounted and you just press a button and you're ready to go, and you don't have to fumble around and worry about holding the thing and not shining in the correct direction. I mean, it just works like a headlight. If you go inside a car and you turn on the headlights, you just flip a switch and that's it. When it's like an everyday application thing, the efficiency of it really matters. Another thing is I definitely felt safe on the road. The taillights and just, you know, having the extra headlights, I definitely felt like I was more visible to cars out there. And the Night Ops pack isn't really cheap, and for the same price you could get a super bright flashlight. But the thing is, again, the convenience factor is where this comes in, because yes, you would have a brighter light, but you would have to hold it and you have to operate it, and so it wouldn't really give you that hands-free operation that the Shredlight would give you. And as you can see here, it's not the most durable thing in the world. I mean, just over one spill, like, you know, I already had problems with the buttons and stuff like that, so I feel like the weakest link here is actually the mounting points and to where it mounts on the rails. I kind of have an idea for this. I feel like I can come up with another mount system that might be better, that might not damage the Shredlights even if it did roll over. So if you guys are interested, actually let me know down in the comments below, and maybe I can, like, you know, make like a design and you can 3D print it for free or something like that. And so yeah, just let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. The positioning of the light matters just as much as the brightness, and you can have a really bright flashlight, but if it's installed at the rail, it's still not going to be as bright as holding it in your hand or having it chest mounted or on your helmet and pointing it down. It just has more reach that way, and yeah, you'll definitely get more brightness out of it. As we can see in the Lux test, it cut the light to like half efficiency, not having it aimed properly. Again, if you're in the city and you have street lamps, I had no problems using the rail mounted Shredlights. A bunch of street lamps and street lights that are lighting the road already, and I was clearly able to see the road with the Shredlights in that application. Anyway, so that is the in-depth review of the Shredlights, specifically the Night Ops pack for the Onewheel. If you guys have any questions, if I missed anything, leave it down in the comments below. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Again, if you guys are interested on that mounting system idea, maybe I can make that happen. Leave it down in the comments. So if you like this video, if it helped you at all, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the like button. Anyone who is on YouTube, the like button, it means a lot to us. And I'll see you guys in the comments. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.